What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gaming, bringing you a late because of technical issues. A late, but still because I love to say y'all, show y'all and share with y'all my opinion of wrestling. So it's a Smackdown review, SuperSized at that, SuperSized Smackdown. So we started off with an Edge promo, right? Edge kicked off the show, basically coming out to talk about Seth Rollins. Edge says, as he started off saying, this started 7 years ago between me and you, when you were basically trying to make a name. I think he said like something about trying to make a name for himself. It was something like that. Yeah, he was trying. No, he said he was using him trying to use him as like a stepping stone, if you will. A stepping stone to notoriety. Then he said, fast forward to 7 years, and we find ourselves in each other's way again. This time to become Universal Champion, which Seth Rollins, we all know that Seth Rollins basically screwed Edge out of. But he said it has become more than that. It has become something way more than that. Because Seth Rollins has taken it to a whole nother level. He went to his home and he said, honestly, I should have seen it coming. He said he was calling him out for weeks and weeks and weeks. So he finally said, you know what, I'm gonna come and answer your challenge. But then he said, you go to my home. He said, you go to my home, where he started explaining like the difference between a house and a home. And he said the home is where he break bread with his family, where he put bandages on scraped knees, where we laugh, where we cry, he said that's my home, and you went and pissed all over it. And he said, you know what, he should have seen it coming because it was straight out of his playbook. And then he reminded the crowd like the time where he slapped John Cena's father. He was like, yeah, at that thing, like the crowd gave him like a reaction. He went, yeah. He said he tells Seth that at Crown Jewel, basically, that when they meet inside this Hell in a Cell, we gotta remember this SuperSized Smackdown is the go home show for Smackdown. So yeah, because when we see next time this Friday, when we see Smackdown will be the start of the new roster change. That means every single person who was drafted or was drafted to stay or come to Raw will be on SmackDown will be on SmackDown, and not this Monday but next Monday will be everybody who was drafted to Raw to come to Raw will be on Raw. So a lot of things are going to change. We don't know who's going to be. We don't know who's going to be. I hear rumors that Sasha Banks is going to win, so they keep the SmackDown Women's Championship on SmackDown, and then Bianca and them are going to feud with Bianca and Becky are going to feud with Charlotte over the title. Like, I'm hearing a lot of rumors about that. But yeah, Edge knows that he's going to scar Seth Rollins' soul, and there's no healing from that when it comes Hell in a Cell at Crown Jewel. Then we will get our first match of the night, which was the King of the Ring semifinals tournament, or round 2, which is Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. Now the winner of this match will go on to face the winner of whoever won tonight, because I haven't watched tonight. And it's 11:15, so I still gotta go and watch. Like, when I get done doing these review videos, I'm gonna go watch Raw so I could be on time for the Raw review. But I'm gonna go watch that. But whoever won would face the winner of tonight's Raws to go on to Crown Jewel this Thursday. So it was a very good match between. Surprisingly, this has been a long time. I would say this: it's been a long time since I watched the Sami Zayn match and was like disinvested into it. And Sami Zayn and Finn Balor tore down the house, man. They put on a good match. I'm not even gonna say it wasn't. It was a very good match. I was interested in it. I was very interested to see if they might pull off what they've been doing with the Queens tournament. Having the wrong people win the match. But in the end, Finn Balor won the match like he should have, like everybody would want to see. And he will move on to the finals, which is at Crown Jewel. So at Crown Jewel, it will be Finn Balor versus whoever wins between Xavier Woods and Jinder Mahal. We move on here. I think we got straight into the second match. I don't think it was a promo, but the second match would be Naomi versus Sonya Deville. So Naomi comes out first. I think they had like a little pre-tape, pre-match like little like interview / like a little word to the opponent type thing, and but Naomi comes out to the ring, she do her thing, and then it's time for Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville comes out, she looks like she's not really dressed to compete. She looks like she's in her little, managerial suit or whatever, and then she gets on the mic. But I didn't notice it until she started walking towards the ring. She did have on her ring boots. So therefore so I'm like, okay, so you have on a suit, but then the camera pointed out to her boots. So I was like, oh, so she's going to do like the whole Baron Corbin thing, where Baron Corbin was like corporate Corbin, and he basically wrestled in his corporate suits and stuff like that. That's basically what they were. It looked like that's basically what it was happening. Because I didn't know she was going to do a fake out, but then what she did next proved to me that she wasn't doing a fake out. She tells Naomi that, before, I told you that you need to stop storming out away from me or out of my rooms before I'm done talking to you. Because she said, because you were so happy and elated to hear that I was in a match with you, that I made a match between me and you, that you didn't let me finish. And that the match was indeed going to be, it is going to be a match between me and you. I didn't lie about that, or haven't changed that. It will be me and you, but I didn't. What you didn't let me finish was that it's going to be me and you, and me and you. With me, it's going to be a 2-on-1 handicap match. As she revealed, her partner is none other than Shayna Baszler. So Naomi basically had to fight. It was in a 2-on-1. It became a 2-on-1 handicap match where basically they both just. Naomi had her offensive moments. She had the moments where she was beating up both of them. Like, she beat up Zelina and took her out for a minute. And Sonya did, like, the shock heel who really doesn't want to fight the face maneuver where she took off the ring running from Naomi. And then Zelina got in the ring to beat her up. And right when Sonya tried to get in the ring to help beat her up, she realized that Zelina was down, and that she was looking up at Naomi, who had taken out Zelina for the meantime, and that Sonya would have to deal with her herself. And Sonya's on the ground. She's looking up like, yeah, this is not for me. And she just took off. So she takes off. Naomi chases her. And then she chased her back into the ring where Shayna regained her composure and helped beat her up. And they end up beating. I think they put her in the Karafuda clutch, but it wasn't like all the way in the Karafuda clutch. It was just like, it was almost like she just basically, she had her like she was getting ready to put in the Karafuda clutch, but instead of putting her all the way in, it just looked like she just basically put her in the chokehold. and allowing Sonya to get the boot on chest pin victory um, over Naomi. So then we would go to our next promo, which was Seth Rollins basically giving his retort to what Ed said at the beginning of the show. And Seth, he starts off by saying, trying to spin the narrative, saying that Edge really came out here and tried to convince himself, the crowd, and himself that he have a chance to beat him at Crown Jewel. But he said the reason why he says this is because he said Edge. He said he knows this is a lie because hell has already frozen over because Edge came out here and admit. I forgot that when I was talking about earlier, I forgot that Edge did say in the promo that he admitted that that Seth Rollins was an Edge light and that Seth Rollins is who he is and a dangerous man. So this is what Seth was alluding to, was that he said that hell has frozen over because Edge finally admitted that he wasn't Edge light, but then he went on to say that and that he admitted to that he was better than Edge in every conceivable possible way. But Edge didn't say that. Edge only said that he wasn't Edge light. And that he was already in his mind mentally because Edge came out and admitted that. And he wanted to reiterate that he's not afraid or intimidated to face Edge inside Hell in a Cell. I'm trying to see what else did he say. He basically started saying that he knows what it's like to be inside Hell in a Cell. That Hell in a Cell is the reason why he the way he is. He gets the taunting Edge that you saying that you're gonna scar my soul, but you're not prepared to what I'm gonna do to you inside Hell in a Cell, basically, and that he promised that he's gonna be the victor inside that Hell in a Cell. So we get to our third match, and our third match is Carmella versus Zelina Vega in the second round of the Queen's Crown tournament. It was like I said, it was a stupid thing. Like they had Carmella waving off the people with the mask because her and Zelina cool, so she knows Zelina's not gonna try to punch her in the face. So she's like, you know what, we don't need the mask, whatever. So they get to having a friendly competition, and out of habit, I think Carmella did it was just out of habit did one of her little combination moves where she makes you go to her knee, it makes you go to your knees, and then she super kicks you in the face. But then she tries to apologize to Zelina, saying that it was just out of habit, and Zelina would get mad and she would charge Carmella that's less pressing her. And then would start hitting her in the face. So she would try to get out the ring to try to get her mask because Zelina did hit her in the face. But Liv Morgan would get involved, taunting her with the mask, not letting her get the mask, and she even flinched at her like she was about to hit her. And Carmella would get in the ring only to get, I think she got rolled up or got hit with a finisher, and then rolled up pin by Zelina, having Zelina moving to the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia to face the winner between Shayna Baszler and Doudrop. We got a Happy Talks promo from Baron Corbin and Riddick Moss. Riddick Moss made some bad jokes, but then they got interrupted by Rick Boogs, who introduced Shinsuke Nakamura, and just like at the I think that was SummerSlam, they just basically came out, and he just basically did the whole bam bam. He played the guitar. Shinsuke's music hit, and then they just running around the ring, interacting with the fans, and rocking out with Pat McAfee. to them. They get back up to Riddick and Baron. They just in the ring, just looking like, man, come on, man, like you're ruining it, like tight faces. Nothing really never came of it. And then they got to the top of the ring, and then the Street Profits music hit, who ironically was supposed to be on last week's Happy Talk but never came out for some reason. But they music hit, and they come out, and Rick Boogs start playing their beat on the guitar, playing them out to the ring, and that's where we get the fourth match. The fourth match would be a tornado tag, a rarity now that we see in the WWE, which was it was a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, street fight with the Usos versus the Street Profits. Though it technically was a tornado tag, anytime you have a tag team match with both participants of the teams with both team members could be in the ring at the same time with the opposite team members, that's a tornado tag. So that's basically what this was. It was mostly a tornado tag, but then some weapons did get involved. So it was more tornado tag with a street fight like rules, because it wasn't all the way like a street fight. There wasn't abundance of weapon usage, but they did. They paid tribute to the Dudley Boys. I think the Street Profits did by doing Montez. Angelo Dawkins smacking Montez and telling him, Montez, get the tables. So they did all that, but I don't think it never got used in the way that they wanted to, because later on they end up losing the match to the Usos, and the Usos will be your winners. Let's see how much time we got left. Oh, we got plenty of time. Okay, so the next match would be which could have been like, you could say was the main event match, because this was a SuperSized Smackdown. So this is a Smackdown that's going on for an extra 30 minutes. That's competing with AEW. So this I think part of that 30 minutes was this match with Sasha Banks and the last promo of the night. So we get to the the match, which was Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, and this was a very good and lengthy match. I think this match went on for like a good 25 or 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know in the comments down below, but I'm pretty sure this match went on for like 25, 30 minutes. But it was a good match. The reason why I say that, because it highlights how, if you give them the proper time, everybody know this because they've done it before. You give the ladies a proper time, the ladies can actually put on a good match. That's why you have people like Dana Brooke in the back and catering and stuff, because you don't allow them to showcase what they could truly do because of what you're making them do. You making Dana Brooke be a jobber. You making certain divas be jobbers to Charlotte Flair. If you just give them the time to actually put on a good match and tell the story with that match, and then have them lose, you actually have a superstar that people could get behind. Therefore, you want to have a failed experiment like Nikki Cross, where you gave her the championship only to let her lose it back to Charlotte Flair, where she still could be champion right now if you would care more about. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I started rambling because when I started talking about it, I realized how they treat the members of the Four Horsewomen way better than they do any other women in WWE. But yeah, so this match was basically good. Becky and them put on a show. A lot of reversals, a lot of one-upsmanship with their submission holds. But Bianca Belair was there. Surprisingly, she came out. Because I don't think it was even said that she was going to be on SmackDown, but she came out to ringside on the commentator table, talking with the commentators, and she will play a factor into this match, because at the end, I think Sasha had Becky. Sasha had Becky in for the I forgot Sasha's signature signature submission submission finisher, but she had Becky in that, and Becky basically was trying to get to the ropes, and I think she did. But while the referee was distracted, Bianca would use her braid, and I think she like whipped Becky's hands off the ropes and stuff. To which Becky, she's looking like she's like, oh, so you gonna, she talking smack now to Bianca, and Sasha would roll up, pin Becky, would hit the bank. She would hit the bank statement. I think she hit like the bank statement and rolled up, pin Becky. She didn't even put her in the submission hold. She just hit the bank statement, and then she rolled up, pinned her. 1, 2, 3. I think that's like the first. Yeah, making that the first time since Becky's been back that she lost a match. And then that's the first time in a long time too. I don't even think she lost a match before she left. But yeah, we will get the next promo. The next promo being which is, I call it like the main event promo when they end the show with a promo. I call it like a main event promo, which is Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar's contract signing. And before signing the contract, they do their intro and come out. But before signing the contract, he gives the contract to Paul Heyman to look over. Paul Heyman, looks it over and then tells Roman Reigns that's his special counsel. Everything that you asked for and requested is in the contract. And as your counsel, I counsel you to sign the contract for Crown Jewel. And Roman, he grabs the contract, looks at it, and then look at Paul for like the reassurance. Paul just goes, he just goes like that, like, yeah, sign it. So he signs the contract and basically puts the contract down in front of Brock Lesnar, hand Paul Heyman the pin, to which Paul Heyman tosses the pin, and the pin that Adam Pearce gave to Roman Reigns, he finally somehow got that back after Paul Heyman tossed that pin too. But I forgot to mention just a little quick tidbit. Like once doing like the little Sasha Banks outro. No, they paid her music because she won and stuff. Everybody was bickering and arguing at ringside a little bit. I think Becky was still arguing with Bianca about what just happened, and Bianca and Sasha's in the ring holding her stomach, but she raising her hand in victory. And out of nowhere, you just hear Adam Pearce just clearing the way, telling everybody, "Get out, get out! We got to do this now. We get the table in here." And and then you thought this was like something that the audio actually picked up on before the commercial break, but then you realize they don't have no more commercial breaks, and it actually was Adam Pearce out there basically directing traffic to try to get this segment set up, and that's when, like, I honestly think when Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar came out, that they were still clearing out. I think like all the divas, I wouldn't say divas, excuse me, all the women wrestlers was still like kind of like exiting the ring area to let them have their time, since it was such an important thing. But yeah, so now Brock Lesnar, he basically grabs the contract and he signs it without even looking. He just he just puts it down and Roman started laughing. He like, you just gotta be a big a dummy. I think he says something else, but YouTube don't want to let me get everything if I use cuss words, so I'm kind of trying to see where I was at in my notes. Yeah, he said you must be some kind of dumb. He said you just like a bit dumb farmer. You're gonna sign the contract without even looking at it, and he said Brock Lesnar retort was he said I always read the contract this morning with my advocate Paul Heyman. And then Brock Lesnar just lies at Roman, and they end the show with them promoting Crown Jewel, and Roman Reigns angry at what Brock Lesnar just said. Overall, the show was a good show. I enjoyed it. If I were to give the show anything, I'd give it 10 big ups. I give it 8 big ups because it was a decent go home. So, but if you enjoyed it, Hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my wrestling reviews. And hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But I got more to come. Peace.